Kelly, and today I'm going to do a quick tutorial and show y'all how to crochet cooties. This is a heart-shaped Valentine that I think is so cute, and he's made with a fur yarn, so he's super soft and squishy, and I think he'd make an awesome Valentine's gift or thing for even kids, adults. I think everybody would love him. So right now I'll show y'all what y'all need to get started. I am using a Yarn Bee For the Moment yarn. The cream color to me is almost just like white. Here's one that I made in white. To me it doesn't look cream. It to me just looks like white. And the pink color is soft pink that I used. And I will also link below a Lion brand yarn, faux fur yarn that y'all can use too. I think that would work great for this pattern too if y'all don't have access to the Yarn Bee. You'll need a small amount, probably a lot more than this, but a couple good handfuls of polyfill. 15mm safety eyes. I have blue ones. You will need a 5mm size H hook. This one is Clover, one of my favorite brands. A yarn needle, a stitch marker, and a pair of scissors. So we'll jump right onto this tutorial and get started. So I'm going to make another one in the pink, and if you're wondering how many cooties it will make for one skein of yarn, the answer is 2. You will get 2 of them for one skein. So just a little FYI there, so y'all know that. So, and I will admit, fur yarn is not the easiest to crochet or see stitches, but you just have to take your time with it and work with it. But to help keep it kind of straight, you can use stitch markers so you know where your first point is going around, which will help a little bit. For this project, I have to use stitch markers. Sometimes you can count and not use stitch markers, but it makes it a lot easier if you do. So first off, we're going to make a magic circle or a magic ring. So I'm going to take my yarn, my tail, wrap a circle, grab the yarn, a little bit, okay, and I'm on chain 1 to secure it, and I'm gonna work 6 single crochet in this magic circle. And the main thing I learned with this is just to take your time with it, and it helps to count your stitches too as you go. So there's 6, so if you kind of count for each round, it'll help a lot. So here's the first row, and if you look really close, you can barely see the stitches, but you more not have to feel for them as you go, so you just kind of have to feel your way. But the thing is, it's very forgiving, the fur yarn is, so if you miss a stitch or accidentally add a stitch in the wrong stitch, as long as you're kind of counting and keeping track of how many stitches you got, you'll be okay. So even if they're in the wrong spot, it's all going to be okay because you ain't going to see it, and you don't know where the mistake is, and nobody's going to be able to tell you that there's a mistake in it, and you won't even be able to see it yourself, so it's all good. So that's round 1. For round 2, we're going to 2 single crochet in each stitch. So if we look real close, right here is our first stitch. So right after I do the first stitch of each round, I go ahead and stick that stitch marker in it so I don't lose it. So we're going to do 2 in each stitch. There's 2. Feel for the next one, which is right here. So there's 3, 4, the next stitch, 2 more, 5, 6, there's another one, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then the last one, 11, 12. And if you see what I've done right there is I counted as I went, so I knew at the end of row 2 I was going to need 12 stitches, so I counted to make sure I got 12 all the way around, because it's kind of hard to go back and recount your stitches. Although, I mean, if you really look, you can barely see them, so you could feel for them, but it's easier for me to count them as I go around, so then I know I have that many stitches. So you might have to keep a little pen and paper so that you know how many rounds you've done and how many stitches, if you have to set the project down and leave it, so you won't forget. Okay, so I'm going to take the stitch marker out. Row 3, we're going to single crochet in 1 stitch, 2 in the next, and repeat that all the way around. So I'm going to find my first stitch, which is right there. I'll work 1 single crochet, place my stitch marker, and then we'll work 2 single crochet in the next stitch. So it gives me 3 for this round, and we'll repeat that around. 1 in the next, there's 4, 5, 2 in this one, so there's 6 stitches. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, last 2 stitches, 16, 17, 18. So then that is row 3. You should have 18 stitches around. So rows, that was row 3. Rows 4, 5, and 6, we're just going to work 3 rows of single crochet in each stitch. So we're just going to single crochet around for 3 rows. So like I said, I would just count. So there's your first one. Place your stitch marker. So it's 1, and I'm just going to count 18 stitches. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. So I am going to work 2 more rows of single crochet around, and I'll catch up to y'all when I finish that. Okay, so I just finished the other second little piece here, and I'm going to cut this. I'll take my stitch marker out. So the next step I'm going to do is I am going to take the end piece, because technically when you crochet, this would be the wrong side and this would be the right side. But in this piece, the wrong side to me looks better. So I'm going to just knot this and weave it in and weave it back down to the inside so we don't have to look at it. So there we go. And I am just going to find, pretty much you just kind of have to feel and find somewhere to pull it through. Sometimes it doesn't want to come through. To find a spot that it'll come through on. Why sometimes it's harder than other times. So I guess not wanting to cooperate. This yarn, you just have to really be patient with it and work with it, because there we go. Because I mean, it's furry and sometimes it's hard to see, but it's so cute. It's worth a little bit of extra effort that goes into it. Okay, so now that I got the top ends weaved through, what we're going to do is I have put one of the tails on my yarn needle, and what we're going to do is we're going to sew together 2 stitches here. So anywhere, you can pick anywhere on it you want to grab it, and we're going to do our best to feel and do 2 stitches. So I know it's not the easiest to feel. Grab 2. So we just have to do our best. Okay, so there's 1. We'll go this way, and I'm going to feel and find the one next to it. And that one, and sometimes you can kind of like there, I mean, you can see it if you really, really look for it. And I'm just going to go back through that last one again. So we're just going to do 2. So now I'm just going to knot this, tight knot so it doesn't come undone here. Okay, so just knot that. So, okay, so now what we're going to do, and these are just tails that we're just try to poke in there, help stuff it. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the yarn. I'll make a slip knot. We're going to attach this pretty much anywhere on either of these sides, but I do it probably about right in here in the middle somewhere. So I just find a stitch, this stitch, put it up and make a single crochet. And I'm going to go ahead and put my stitch marker right there. So pretty much what we're going to do is we're just going to single crochet all the way around. So we're just going to single crochet around, and this will make row 7. So, but there's one little thing we're going to do when we get to like the V right here in this spot that I'll show y'all. So I'm just going to work myself over here. So it's not too bad. It's not too bad. So what we're going to do, see if I'm at the last one, you have to feel for it is pretty much all you can do. So I think those are the 2 stitches that I'm hanging. Okay, so when I get to the very last stitch before I go across this little spot, when I get this last stitch, I am going to do a decrease. I'm going to single crochet 2 stitches together, the last stitch of this one into the first stitch of this round piece, because I want to cover up the, I don't want there to be a gap that like polyfill can get out of or anything. So I'm at the last stitch and you can feel it, plus you can partially see it. So here's the last stitch, and then here is the first stitch of that one. So I'm going to single crochet 2 of those together, and then I'm going to keep single crocheting around, and I'm going to do the same thing, just that tail there, that I just done on this side right here. So I'm going to continue around, and I hope that makes sense for y'all. But I'm just trying to close up that little gap and pull it kind of tight so we can, and you could be, when you finish this round, you're supposed to have 32 stitches. So you could be counting as you go around to make sure you get 32 stitches, but I can't, it's hard for me to count and talk at the same time. So, but if you're just doing 1 each stitch, you should, unless you actually do 2, because this yarn, it is hard to sometimes see. So I'm going to feel for this. Okay, I'm getting here, I'm going to feel, okay, so right here is my last stitch, I can feel it, and there's my first one, right there. So I'm going to work a single crochet, 2 together, decrease right here, like that. And then there's my stitch marker, so there is my first stitch, and we're just going to single crochet in each stitch till I get back to my stitch marker, which looks like I have 3 more. And that is row 7. So we'll move on to row 8. So for row 8, we will single crochet in 6 stitches, and then single crochet 2 stitches together and do a decrease, and repeat that all the way around. So there's 1, and then you just have to pull those, stick those tails in there. So I'm going to do 6 and then decrease. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Decrease like so, and we'll just repeat that around. 1, 2, 3, and just make sure you feel right here and don't put more than just that 1 stitch right there when you go across. So let's see, this should be 4, 5, 6. Do another decrease. At the end of this round of row 8, we should have 28 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6, 7, 8. Okay, so we should do that one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then work a decrease. And you should have 28 stitches, and that is row 8. And see how it's looking and taking up the shape of a heart. Isn't it cute? So we'll continue and go on to row 9. So for row 9, we will continue just decreasing, and we will single crochet in 5 stitches and then work a decrease, a single crochet 2 together in the next 2 stitches. So it's pretty much how the rest of this works up, is we just keep decreasing all the way back down around. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Decrease. So at the end of row 9, you should have 24 stitches. Row 10, we'll keep going. We're going to single crochet in 4 stitches and then work a decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4, decrease. And I'm just going to keep working that all the way around and meet you back for row 11. Okay, so at the end of row 10, you should have 20 stitches. We'll go on to row 11. Row 11, you will single crochet in 3 stitches and then decrease. 2, oh, I just took my stitch marker. 2, 3, decrease, and I'll repeat it all the way around and meet y'all back. Okay, so at the end of row 11, you should have 16 stitches. Go on to row 12. Row 12 is single crochet in 2 stitches and then a decrease. So there's 1, 2, decrease. I will go around and meet you back up. Okay, so for at the end of row 12, you should have 12 stitches. And right now, before we get any smaller, we're gonna go ahead and place our eyes in and stuff the heart. So it's kind of hard to say exactly between which rows I place the eyes because it's hard to see the rows. So what I do is I just stick my hand in here and act like it was a little bit stuffed. It's easier for me to do this before I stuff it. I'll make sure I pull up a good loop so I don't lose where I'm at, so in case I've knocked my stitch marker out. But let's see, so if you want to use like one of these I've already done where I place them, you just kind of feel, and you can stick them wherever you want. You just kind of feel. It's probably between like the first and second row I'd done on after I attached these two. It's probably right there in between those 2 rows. So that would be row 7 and 8, I think is probably about where they're at. And then I'm just going to try to get them on here even where I think I like them. If I think I about got them, which I think that's about good, pop the backs on them. See, and I'm going to get some polyfill and start stuffing. Sometimes they're like, there we go. I think that's about right. I'm gonna get some polyfill start. Okay, so here we go. Sometimes I have to take the stitch marker out or I'll wind up knocking it off and losing it in the stuffing. So I'm just gonna start stuffing like so. Pushing it up there in the little top of it. Sometimes the eyes look like they're gonna go missing. Okay, so there we go. See how he's starting to look like a heart? Isn't it cute? Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit more stuffing in here, and then we'll go on to row 13. Okay, so for row 13, you should single crochet in 1 stitch and decrease in the next 2 stitches, over the next 2 stitches. So we'll do that. There's decrease. Okay. Single crochet, decrease. It's getting a little fat here, so it's a little hard to do it around. Single crochet. You have to fill them. There's one. There's the next one. Decrease. Single crochet. Decrease. This fat little heart. Single crochet. And the last one. Okay, you should have 8 stitches for the final row, row 14. You decrease around. So if you need to put any more stuffing, now you can go ahead and do it. I'm going to put a little bit more here at the bottom of it. Just a little bit more. Okay, I'm going to take my stitch marker out and I'm just going to double crochet. Not double crochet, single crochet, decrease around, which would be 4 times. Let's see. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. I am going to just now cut my yarn and pull it through, and then I'm just going to like try to close up this hole at the bottom best I can. And you could even take these and put rattles in them and put little shakers. I actually have some and just thought of it. I got mine off Amazon somewhere. So that would make a great idea. And to me, I might already have those on hand to put a rattle in them because that would be great. Okay, I'm just going to do the best I can to close this hole up. Should be 4 stitches here. I'm just kind of sticking it wherever it kind of will go and see what I get. So pull it and there we go. I close that hole up. We'll find somewhere to poke this under and make a knot. And leave my end in. Poke it through here. Where's the needle? Out. Okay, there it is. Pull it through here. Cut that off. And that is how you crochet a cootie. Or you can call them cooties if he's got cooties. And that's how you crochet a little cootie. And isn't he cute? And I hope y'all loved this little tutorial. If y'all did, make sure y'all go and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And make sure y'all go check out my blog for more free crochet patterns. Happy crocheting, y'all!